This is the plaintiff, John Ayers. He says the defendant was a close friend of the family's, and when she fell on hard times after a car wreck, he was her knight in shining armor and jumped in to help her out. He ended up putting a car in his name for her. She made some of the payments on it and then abruptly stopped. Then her son took the car, smashed it up and totaled it. Now he's out a whole heap of money and is suing the ungrateful defendant for the $2,978.86 he's owed. This is the defendant, Janice Evangelista. She says the plaintiff is her son's friend, and her son is the one who had the agreement with the plaintiff regarding the car. He knows her son doesn't have any money, and that's the only reason the guy's coming after her. She has nothing to do with this deal. The dude's suing the wrong person, and she owes nothing. She's accused of being a mooching mama.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff helped her friend out after she got in a car accident by helping her buy a car, and she stiffed him. But the defendant says the beef is really between her son and the plaintiff. It's the case of son of a mom.
Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas. John Ayers.
Yes, that's correct.
You are suing Janice Evangelista for $2,978.86 in car fees that she owes you for something a car you put in your name for her and hasn't paid. Tell me what's going on.
That's correct. In May of 2010, she was without a vehicle. We had made the agreement that if I were to co-sign on a vehicle, that she would make the payments. We couldn't even get the co-sign done, so I had placed the vehicle.
Okay, stop. What happened? How do you two know each other?
I've been friends with her son for approximately 6 or 7 years.
Okay, is her son here?
No.
Okay, so you agree to co-sign. She asks you to co-sign for her?
That's correct.
How old are you?
I am 25.
And how old is she? I mean, not 25. And so you're going to put your credit on the line for somebody who can't get credit because she has bad credit?
Yes, that's correct.
Why were you doing that?
She's like a second mom to me. She was always there.
I know, but she's in a position now where she can't get credit for a reason. How do you get to that position?
Making bad choices, I suppose.
No, you don't pay. So is it a surprise that she didn't pay?
Not really, no.
Okay, so why would you mess up your credit at 25 like that? And what about her son? Why didn't you just go to her own son?
Her son was without a job at the time as well.
Okay, and was she without a job?
No, she had a job at the time.
Okay, so why doesn't she just, what kind of car did she buy?
We had financed a 2006 Jeep Commander.
How much was it?
I believe it was about $18,000.
Okay, well, why don't we just save our pennies and buy a $2,000 or $3,000 car after we have the money if we can't get credit? Why do we have to buy an $18,000 car we can't afford?
She wanted to get a
bigger
vehicle.
Why are you being a part of that? That's no longer charity. That's just silly. So she can't even be on the loan. Like, you can't even co-sign. It's
Correct.
so bad. It's so toxic. What's with your credit?
Your Honor, John bought that vehicle for himself. Okay, my son used that vehicle.
So you disagree? You are not agreeing that he bought that vehicle for you?
Absolutely not. He did not buy it.
Okay, hold on then. I'll be right back to you. All right, so according to you, it's raising too many red flags to have her name on it. So you pull out a loan of how much?
It was $18,000. I can get you
the whole loan?
amount.
Wait, she didn't put any money down?
Oh, it was $500 down.
$500 down on an $18,000 car?
Yeah.
Okay, and so you financed $17,500 for your friend's mom because she's nice? Okay, and what do you do for a living?
I currently work for Best Buy, and I work for the Geek Squad in computer repair.
I'm not going to make any jokes. Go on. Go on. You guys are supposed to be geniuses. How does this happen? Go ahead, go on.
Sometimes I'm too nice.
Wrong squad? All right.
Yeah.
So now, how many, does she pay at all?
She made the first year on time.
Okay. And then what happens?
She fell slightly behind. I had made 2 payments totaling $800 so that they would not repossess the vehicle. Then she got back on track with the payments.
She pay you back?
No, she did not.
What, did you tell her you have to pay me back? Those are two,
Yes.
but she never did?
No.
Okay, so go on.
In the spring of 2012, her son had borrowed the vehicle and then crashed the vehicle without my knowledge. I then visited him in the hospital later that night after work.
How did he crash?
He was making a turn at a traffic light and did not see somebody. and he hit them.
So he made a left in front of oncoming traffic?
Yes.
Is he okay?
Yes, he's okay. He
All right.
suffered minor bruises.
So does he explain why he was driving her car?
He said that he was doing a favor for her running an errand.
Okay. So now the car is total. So how did insurance pay to finish off the payments?
The GAP insurance covered the remaining balance of the vehicle.
Oh, good. Somebody had GAP insurance.
But the GAP insurance did not cover back payments.
And the back payments are the two payments of that total $800. Can I see some proof that you paid that?
Yes.
And then the 3 months not paid, January, February, and March of 2012. What are those?
Those were the last payments that weren't made right before the vehicle was totaled, which is where the back payments.
Show me something that says they're coming after you for the amounts that you're suing for.
Okay.
Who are the people with you?
These are my friends. This is Alyssa, her daughter.
Alyssa, Alyssa, her daughter?
Defendant's daughter.
That's your daughter?
And this is Dave, her boyfriend.
They came together.
Yeah. Stand up. Why are you here?
Because I came here for moral support for John.
Not your mother.
No, because I know what's right. And I know that she did wrong here.
How did she do wrong?
Because she got the car, John got the car for her, and now she doesn't want to pay him for it. So, and I know.
I just recently threw her out of the house, so.
You just recently threw her out of the house.
Yeah, so she's a little mad at me right now.
Stay right there. All right, so what happened here?
Well, like I said, John, I did use the car for about a month, maybe a month and a half, when my car, the Ford Escort, was broke down.
Why is the car in your possession that's in his name?
It wasn't in my possession.
Ever?
It was in his possession.
I'm sorry, the car was obtained in 2011, correct?
Right, correct.
Okay. When it was obtained,
2010.
how was it obtained?
I'm sorry, I don't understand.
Did you go to a dealership?
No.
You never went to a
Nope.
dealership?
Nope.
You never asked him to get you a car?
No.
The car is in your house, why, from 2011 until now?
Wasn't at my house.
When did the
And if
car
it
end up
wasn't-
at your house?
If it was at my house, my son was using the car. That's why he crashed the vehicle, because he was using it, and he was helping him pay for it.
Why was he helping your son pay for it? Is he your son's lover? Is he your son's?
I
What's the
don't know.
relationship?
I mean-
Like, what's going on? Because I have lived my entire adult life and nobody has ever offered to pay a car for me. So I want to understand why it is
Well,
that, you know.
I wouldn't ask a 24-year-old kid to make a big step like that for me either, Your Honor. I wouldn't do that as a grown woman. That's ridiculous.
What car have you been driving for the
I
last
have
2
a Ford
years?
Escort and my boyfriend. We have a truck. We have two vehicles.
You have a Ford Escort since when?
About 2 years, 3 years.
Is that the car that's in his name? The boyfriend?
No, it's my name.
So you've had a Ford Escort in your name for the last 2 years?
Yeah, a couple of years, yeah.
Okay. And where's your son?
He's home
Why isn't he here?
because he's sick. They'll tell you he's sick.
Sick with what?
Bronchitis and pneumonia.
Why did you ask for a continuance?
I tried.
Is your brother sick with a pneumonia?
Yes, he is.
What's your brother say about all this?
I think he doesn't really want to get involved because then he might get kicked out too.
Because he might get kicked out too.
Yeah.
So what did he do? Just lick doorknobs until he got the pneumonia so he could stay out of it? Did you pay for this car at any time?
For about a month. I used it for a month and a half. That is the truth. And I gave him money for it.
Do you have any proof that she made payments, for example, canceled checks or anything that you could get from the dealership that show that she was making payments on it all that time?
I did get in contact not only with the collection agency and the attorney's office to try and obtain the payment history, and neither of them have gotten back. I do have proof that I have attempted to contact them.
That doesn't help me. What I need
But
is
I don't
proof.
have that proof.
See, do you hear her defense? Her defense is, I don't know what he's talking about, Judge. I have nothing to do with the car. I'm not on any paperwork. He loaned the car to my son, and my son totaled it, and it doesn't have anything to do with me. You've got what would be a great witness if she was on good terms with her mother, but you just got kicked out by your mother, right? So we know that. So she's not a great witness. So now I've got your story versus hers, and I want to get to the bottom of it. And there's a way that I can. If I just saw canceled checks, if I saw something. So you're telling me that for 1 year she paid checks to them?
I believe it was money orders, but yes.
Right, but they would have her name on them?
Yes.
Go get the evidence. I'm taking a recess. Figure it out. Okay? Because you're the one who chooses when to come to court. She doesn't have a choice about when she, the defendant's side just comes when they're summoned. But you choose as a plaintiff when you're going to come to court. So it's one thing for her to tell me, well, I don't have to, but for you, the guy who chooses when to come to court, who times this, to not have a single stitch of evidence to support what he's saying other than the daughter who got kicked out a few weeks ago, that's not necessarily good. So I'm a patient woman. I'm going to call a recess now.
Thank you.
All rise. So would you co-sign for a really good friend who needed a car and couldn't get it on her own?
If I knew the friend really well and I know their financial ability, if I can trust them financially.
Can you trust anybody to do that?
Not anybody, but a really good friend. And if they're in trouble, I might just do that.
As the judge says, you know what they call you? A litigant. What do you think?
If you can trust a friend, I think that you should.
Youth. I love youth. Going inside the courtroom.
Can I have you up, please? This is a difficult job I have. I really want to have a feel for what happened here because one of you is a bold-faced, unmitigated liar, and it makes me sick. So I called that recess to give you a chance to try to get records that would tell us who it is that have been making those payments. Those records are not available. And if we couldn't get them, I doubt you could get them.
Right.
I'm kind of angry that your friend, your son, isn't here because this would all be over very quickly if your friend, your son, were here. And the fact that he's not here to testify for his mom kind of tells me that he probably wasn't going to testify for his mom. That's why he had to not be here, because he wants to continue to live there, and he's not going to be able to. If he's going to testify for her and against you, he'd be marching right over you and saying, come on, man, you know it was me. Just sue me. I'll take it like a man. Just go ahead and sue me. Why are you suing my mom? My mom has nothing to do with this. But he's not here to say all that. Why? Because that's not what he would say if he was here, okay? That's thing number one. Thing number two, your daughter is killing you. Your daughter is saying things that sounds, it's the mundane things you look for when you're a judge and you're trying to figure out who's telling the truth. Your daughter's angry that you threw her out. You're angry that your daughter's here. And if you're mad that your mother threw you out, you might still think there's a chance that you're going to be able to get back in. And you'd be very unlikely to go ahead and come in and testify against your mom. Plus, she's your mom. I mean, it takes a lot to testify against your mom.
Well, I wasn't planning on testifying.
I know, but you are. Sometimes you just go on feel, and I got a bad feel. I'm ruling in favor of the plaintiff in the amount of the $2,978.86.
See what the defendant has to say coming out here. First of all, what's your reaction to the outcome of the case here?
I'm happy for John.
Yeah.
I'm happy. I mean, it went the way it went.
You happy for him?
I'm happy for. I
Well,
shook
you
his
came
hand.
in here. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
You came in here and fought your case. Obviously,
I just feel the judge made me look really terrible. Like I'm a bad mother and I'm a liar.
well, why would they do this to you if it was
Well, we
if it
already
wasn't true?
went through this. She's
Is there any
upset with
chance
me.
you can move on with
Oh,
your
I
daughter?
love my daughter. I love her. I hug her right now. I love my daughter.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Not much to say.
All right, this one.
Thanks.
All right. So come on in here. She reached across and shook your hand there and said what?
She said, congratulations.
And is that reconciliation for you? Is that enough?
Yes, that's more than enough.
You're fine with her?
That's all that I ask. And I hope that we can still be friends in the future.
Mm-hmm. What was it like for you to be on the other side there against mom?
It was hard. I wasn't planning on going against her at all, but I mean, right is right and wrong's wrong.
Okay. And as far as the mother-daughter relationship from here on out?
It'll be fine.
It will.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love her. It's my mother.
Okay, Harvey.
You know, people don't realize this, but common sense is a big part of these cases. Judges look at what people would normally do in situations. They look at whether the way they react to certain things, to certain accusations, and the way you react is so important because if it doesn't jibe with what you're arguing in court, the judge is going to consider that. And I have seen many cases won or lost based on simple common sense.